W3JOE, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another episode of Cup of Joe with Web3Joe. That's Web3 Job Ops and Events, your hub, headquarters, and home base for all things Web3 talent and recruitment. They power these spaces. We're here usually every Wednesday and Friday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We're here a little bit earlier today to accommodate our amazing guest. And we do our best to fill this next 30, 40 minutes with as much value as possible. We do that by bringing on dope people from the space who know what it means to get hired in Web3, to hire in Web3 and be successful in those roles. Come over here, share some game on how you can be successful in those roles as well. Today, we're very honored to be joined by none other than Mr. Michael K. at Mikashi. He's the Senior BD Manager at Consensys. And just a cybersecurity pro. He's the first person I go to whenever I have any questions, and great person to know in the space. Mr. Michael, how are you doing? Happy Friday. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come kick it with us for a bit.
Greatly appreciate you, Gambler. It's amazing knowing you in the space. Amazing to be here. I can't believe there's going to be so many people missing out on insane alpha that are not in this room right now. But good thing it's recorded, right? Good thing it's recorded. My name is Michael K. I'm the Senior Manager at Consensys. I'm also on the Product Safety team at MetaMask. And I come from the WalletGuard acquisition, which a lot of people might have heard of. WalletGuard was a free open source security tool that we made that over 100,000 people used. We saved that 100,000 people over $60 million in scams. And then eventually we got acquired by MetaMask. And now that technology lives directly in one of the most popular open source, privacy preserving, self-custody wallets that's out there.
Boom. Mr. Michael K. He's been here before. He's not new to this. He's true to this. And we actually do record these spaces. And even though Elon will do his best to make that worthless because they don't stay on forever, we actually upload these to Spotify and YouTube as well. So we got a huge catalog, at least, actually, at this point, of really dope speakers. Make sure to check us out, YouTube and Spotify. Michael, remind me, I know we had a call yesterday. Do you have a call at the top of this hour? Are we tight till the top of the hour?
I do. I got about 45 minutes with you.
Okay, all good, all good. We're gonna keep it tight, keep it right. You just gave your intro. You're way ahead of me already. Shout out to T, shout out to Viegas, shout out to Crypto Italia, shout out to once again anybody listening to the recording, whether that's here on X, YouTube, or Spotify. We appreciate you, and we're gonna get into it. Mr. Michael, you gave us a brief background. Are there any milestones that you're especially proud of since getting involved professionally in Web3?
Oh yeah, in general in Web3, any milestones? I mean, it's been an amazing 5 years, I would say. Going from just getting my first NFT to doing events in the metaverse, turning a business model into working with projects and ecosystems, and then eventually running into the guys at WalletGuard on a Twitter space, where they told me they wanted me to be a brand ambassador, and it was an unpaid position at the time, but I was super ecstatic to do it. It was like a good transition from Web2 to Web3 cybersecurity for me. And eventually they gave me a full-time position. We ended up moving into a hacker house all together, living together for a year, all five of us, just hyper-scaling the application, building the same thing, all on the same mindset, which it's amazing when you find people like that, by the way. Throughout that time, just gaining over 100,000 users, being on the Killer Whales TV show, winning the episode for the best security project that was on the episode itself, and just representing WalletGuard was amazing. And then getting into MetaMask and Consensys, and working for Joe Lubin, the co-founder of Ethereum. I mean, it's like it's crazy how quickly we've scaled, and I couldn't have done it without an amazing team.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Your story is inspirational in more ways than one, and I have so much respect for you because you're one of those guys that does not stop doing what got you where you are today, which is like showing up, answering the call, coming on smaller spaces like this, which I know a lot of folks won't do, and just chopping it up, sharing the game you have to share. It's always appreciated.
Bro,
And
always. And I just want to say, like,
yeah.
the fact that you invited me is worth millions of dollars to me. I don't care if there's one person in the space or it's just me and you vibing, bro. I'm always the same person. I never want anything from anybody. I just want people to listen and stay safe, because that's what makes me feel like I'm giving out value. I'm not trying to sell you any tokens. I don't have any NFTs to sell you. I'm not grifting and LARPing anything. I'm just giving you good solid information that you can share with others to also stay safe. It's that easy, guys.
It's that easy, and you've always been that guy. And when you find folks like Michael, you want to keep them close because there's a lot of nonsense, not just in the crypto world, but in the world in general. So, actually, I was extra excited for this conversation today because I always drag you on these spaces to talk about cybersecurity. I know you're the guy to talk about. And at the end, towards the end, if we have time, I want to see if you have any extra updates or game to share with us on there. But I don't often get to pick your brain on the like your journey in Web3 side. Well, I know it, but I get to dive in a little bit more in these next 30 minutes or so. So on that topic, for folks listening, what like top of mind advice to get the conversation going do you have for folks who are looking to either break into working in Web3 or advancing their careers in Web3?
Yeah, security first. This is something that people don't think about until they get wrecked in Web3. This goes for individuals, this goes for communities, this goes for people building projects. Security is an afterthought, and it's human nature to not care until it's too late. But I could tell you right now, if you are doing anything in crypto, if you are managing your own assets, if you are being your own bank, you have to remember banks have multiple layers of security for a reason, and we can't expect the masses to come into crypto when the masses don't even understand how to manage their own devices, their own passwords, or how to not get socially engineered or scammed. I have seen time and time again on the timeline over the years ways that people are getting their wallets drained, they're getting compromised, and it's all so easily preventable if you just take a moment to listen and employ some easy wins when it comes to your personal security. Because a lot of Web 2 threats, things that existed before crypto, are affecting people's crypto assets. I'm talking about malware, Trojans, social engineering, phishing scams. All these things existed before crypto, but they wreck your crypto wallets. So there's going to be a few tips that I'm going to drop during the space, but that's mainly the thing that I recommend doing. If you are coming into crypto, please, please, please make sure that security is top of mind. If you don't have that security, it's just a matter of time before you get completely fucking wrecked. I guarantee you.
Yeah, and that's like on an individual level, right? But when we talk about coming to take on the responsibility of taking on a role on a team and having stakeholders, collaborators, community members that are relying on your word and your responsibility and your security, then it's bigger than just on an individual level, right? Now you have to be that much more responsible and cognizant. And you're right, it's unfortunately something that is never talked about enough. That's why we need more Michaels around. How about actually getting the conversation started with a potential employer? Let's say they've talked to Michael, they've reviewed all the security fundamentals and are continuing to maintain them, and now they're like, okay, I got that. I'm looking to find a role. What's some advice for folks to actually get that conversation started with a potential employer?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to not be afraid to reach out. A lot of people just don't take chances and they never get an answer, even if that answer is no. I've been told no thousands of times in my life. If I ever stopped doing or, diverting my vision or my mindset, I wouldn't be where I am here today. Winners, the most successful people have failed time and time again. They've been told no time and time again. It's not easy to win. And if you really want to work at a specific company or you want to build something yourself, you just got to put the energy in, you got to reach out, you got to make those connections. And the one thing that I can give that's a tip is don't overextend yourself. Shorter is better. Shorter and a much basically people don't want to open up their DMs and see paragraphs of you typing shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I get these DMs and people are sending me like a million different messages about their product or that they want to work with us or whatever the case is. I don't have the time to sit there and read essays, guys. Neither do other people that are actively moving at 1,000 miles per hour. So shorten your message, make sure it's straight to the point, less is more, and don't be afraid to reach out. It's a chance that, if you don't take, you're never going to know if the answer would have been yes.
And how about when it comes to that initial conversation now, and we know in the world of crypto it can be sometimes you're referred and it's really just a simple conversation and you're hired on the spot. Sometimes it's more of a formal interview. Obviously it depends on the level of role as well, whether it's junior, mid, or senior. But what general tips can you offer folks listening on being successful when it comes to you're past the DMs now, it's time to have that initial conversation, you got to demonstrate your value?
Yeah, and that's what it is, demonstrating your value. Why did you want to work there? What was your goal when you're there? And how are you going to plan on executing it? I think a lot of people don't have a game plan. They just want to go and get money. They want to get paid. One of the things that I had when I did one of my first acquisitions, and I had my first LLC when I was 16, it was an IT company. I ended up merging it with a much larger IT company that acquired me. But before I got to the point of them acquiring me, I had to get the attention of the owner. I had to show them that, hey, I actually understand IT and product and software and hardware, and give me the chance to show you what I'm capable of. Don't even pay me. That's what I said to the owner of this other larger IT company. I said, let me work here for free and I will show you what I'm capable of. That's true delayed gratification. I wasn't expecting a paycheck before I start showing them what I'm capable of. A lot of people, unfortunately, are not in the position to do that. But if you do, if you can, I think it's the best way to do it. It allows you to prove yourself. And within a couple of months, he made me the CEO of the company. One of the first things I did as CEO of the company, because I was brand new there, but there were employees that have been there for multiple years, I actually lowered my own pay as CEO and distributed it amongst the existing employees so that I could raise the morale of the company and make sure that everyone is ready to execute as I step in as CEO. Most people wouldn't think like that. But if you think like that, you're actually delaying the gratification, because within a year's time, I was getting paid more than I would have been if I just took my original payroll and hodled it all to myself. So there's a lot of different ways to approach it, guys, but you just have to be unique. You have to stand out. You have to show your value proposition. And 99% of people don't. So as long as you take the chance, you're probably going to fucking win.
Well said, Michael. And then how about when it comes to the topic of negotiation? Uh, I used to ask this question and I used to say, when is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? Recently, I had a guest share on this stage. It's always appropriate. You should actually always negotiate. And he mentioned that if someone does not negotiate, that it says something about them. It's not the end of the world, but it's something to consider. What are your thoughts on that? And then what are some tips you can offer on actually coming out of a negotiation successfully, and what a successful negotiation even looks like?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what type of negotiation we're talking about. It could be, you know, employee to owner, client to company, business to business, whatever the case is. But I think you never want to like degrade the value of what you're providing, right? You always want to be able to make sure that you're not stretching yourself too thin, or it's affecting your workflow or whatever the case is. A quick example would be, I actually recently met with a business owner, a small business owner in the area that's doing their own floral business. And she was talking about how, she gives discounts, and, she's willing to give me a discount. And I said, look, stop giving discounts. What you should do is you should take into account the numbers that you're working with. For example, if you have a product that you're selling for $300 and people are always asking you for discounts, raise the price of the product to $350 and give people a $50 discount. So you still get what you originally asked for, but people feel like they're getting more value out of the transaction. There's always a way psychologically to understand the situation and actually make it in your favor. Give people options. Make it so that, you're not trying to take advantage of people, but you don't want to degrade the quality of what you're providing, whether it's as an employer or a company, simply because, people are asking you to go lower. You can set yourself up in a position to be successful in so many different ways. I mean, it's such a granular, way, depending on what type of service you're selling or what type of expertise you're bringing to a company. Always negotiate. Don't sell yourself short.
Well said. And then how about some considerations that folks should keep in mind when it comes to the day-to-day reality of working in Web3, in crypto, whether that be time zones, obviously security, compared to the traditional Web2 world?
I think it applies for both Web 2 and Web 3. You got to be organized. You got to have your ducks in a row. I can't tell you how many times people have scheduled meetings on my calendar and they don't show up to something they scheduled and picked themselves. That is embarrassing, guys. If you are scheduling someone on someone else's calendar and you aren't confirming after you scheduled it that, hey, it's on my calendar, so I'm ready when the time and day comes around, I'm not ready to work with you, and I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to be ready to work with you either, because you don't have your own shit together. Organization is key. Making sure that you are on top of your own calendar, your own emails, your own inbox is key. My goal on a daily basis is to make sure that I end the day with 0 unread messages, 0 unread emails in my inbox, and 0 DMs. This way I know I'm on top of everything that's incoming at all times. A lot of people have 10,000 unread emails and 10,000 unread texts and a million notifications, and they miss their meetings. You're not going to win like that. I'm telling you right now. You're setting yourself up for failure if you don't employ organization, automation, and actually understand what's your goal on a daily basis. What are you trying to accomplish? Because you're probably going to run faster than you can manage, and you're going to get to a point where you can't even handle the incoming messages that you're dealing with, which I'm sure maybe some people in the space know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Systems are important, like you said, automation, organization. Also, I would add, and I would ask you your thoughts on this, boundaries, right? You mentioned like you want to end your day with no messages, but somebody like you, Michael, I imagine that's almost impossible because I just imagine you got messages coming in every which way. So I would imagine that you have a time, maybe, or at some point in your day, you're like, okay, my inbox is empty right now, and I'm either gonna focus on something else, or it might not be actually possible to go to bed every night with an empty inbox. How do you manage boundaries, and like, what are your thoughts on like where that fits into
Oh,
the
bro,
overall process?
I don't sleep. Okay, I have the energy to do it. I'll eat once a day. I'll eat 0 times a day if I have to get shit done. I I'll wear the same clothes every day. I won't shower. I won't go out. I won't go partying. I will put in more effort in a 24-hour day than anybody else. And if you have that attitude, you can do what I'm doing. You will be successful no matter what. It's just a matter of wanting to do it. So, yes, I will outwork anybody. I will over execute anybody. I will make sure that the quality of what I'm doing is always going to be 100x better. And I can't fail with that mindset. And it doesn't hurt you to try to employ that mindset because it is, at the end of the day, all in your fucking head.
Absolutely. Well said. We're almost about time to wrap up here. I got a few more questions. I want to talk a little bit about leveraging IRL events specifically because I know you know a lot about IRL events. You know a lot about getting the most out of IRL events. So, first of all, which are some of your favorite IRL events to attend in terms of opportunity, and why?
Yeah, permissionless is awesome. Dev Connect is awesome. Token 2049. These are all awesome because outside of the main conferences, they have great side events, great networking opportunities. If you're building something in Web3, showing face, building in public, and actually like networking is such a massive driver for how you can scale and meet real people. There's a lot of people that get hit up in the DMs and you don't necessarily know who's real, who's not. It's a totally different landscape when you're actually building in public. You can change the sentiment of even what you're building because you're now, making sure that people understand there's a real person behind this product. There's a real person behind this ecosystem or this network or this DApp, which again, a lot of people just don't do. Maybe they don't think it makes sense to show up to crypto events or whatever the case is. But I can tell you right now, out of all the crypto events that I've been to over the years, there hasn't been one where I went and didn't make a solid connection, didn't make a relationship with somebody that I ended up growing after the fact.
And what are some tips on actually doing just that, on getting the most out of events when you actually show up?
Yeah, organization, back to it, your calendar. Make sure you are highlighting the companies or the projects or the events that you want to show up with. Make sure you figure out what are your goals for going to this conference. Some conferences are dedicated more towards DeFi, some are token based, some are network based, some are for gaming. So a lot of it really comes down to who are you looking for? Who do you want to speak with? Make those connections even before you get to the conference. Send out some cold emails. Make sure they're a single sentence, not an essay like we talked about. People don't want to read essays. People don't want to open their DMs or their emails and read a bunch of freaking paragraphs of nonsense. You got to be straight to the point. So set up your game plan, figure out what events you want to get to, make sure your calendar is organized so you hit those events and you are consistent with the connections that you're making. Don't just show up to events to ask people, oh, where are you located? Oh, let's connect on Telegram. And then nothing ever happens. And you just have a Telegram filled with hundreds of messages of people saying, hey, what's up? When I go to when I go to an event and I make a connection with somebody that I actually care about, I get connected on their Telegram. We take a picture together. We drop each other's quick action items, and then I move on to the next conversation. I don't just do it to meet a bunch of people and add them to my contact list. I do it to execute after I'm done at the conference. And trust me, after the conference is done, I'm following up individually with all those key people that I met to making sure that we take it to the next step, which a lot of people, again, don't do.
Can you give us any concrete examples of some of your favorite opportunities, collaborations, outcomes from having this attitude and having this mentality going into events?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I spearhead network enablement at MetaMask, so we help networks get deeper integrations. And from going to these networking events, meeting people on the Say team, the Monad team, the Solana Foundation team, and executing with them, taking their networks and giving a much better experience for users at the wallet level. These conversations have to start somewhere. It doesn't just happen. You don't instantly win or land a client. So it's a contributing factor to showing face, to going to their events, to making sure that they understand that you care about what they're building and there is actual product synergy, that there is actual product strategy behind what you're doing, not just trying to get money or a one and done deployment. This is something that you build a relationship with your closest clients. And then again, at the end of the day, you're not just sitting around making one-off deals. You're doing consistent revenue. You're bringing in recurring revenue, which is the biggest multiplier, especially in the crypto space.
So we're going to get to our closing questions now. Shout out to everybody in here: Walt, Brian, Crypto Cam, Meta, T, Dylan, Viegas, Tanae, Twans, anybody listening to the recording, whether that's here on X, YouTube, or Spotify. We appreciate you. We're going to grill our guest here for a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a show. Mr.
By the way,
Michael.
anybody that's in the space right now, I just shot y'all a follow back if I wasn't following you already.
Fucking legend. Mr. Michael, how do you define success in your role?
How do I define success? I would say stats, metrics, numbers, increasing MAUs, increasing transacting users, increasing product sentiment. I think since we got acquired by Consensys and MetaMask with the Wallet Guard team over a year and a half ago, we've done so much work on, giving our input at the product level, making sure that there's all these like UI and UX elements that are addressed, people's concerns on the timelines that are addressed, working on different features like Transaction Shield, which we recently launched that gives users up to $10,000 of coverage per transaction in their MetaMask. I mean, we're really like trying to change the space when it comes to security and insurance. And also when it comes to product releases, we have perps directly inside of MetaMask with our partnership with Hyperliquid. We have Polymarket integration, so you can do prediction trading directly in your MetaMask. We recently launched MetaMask Rewards that reward you for things you were already doing the entire time. And MetaMask Rewards is not something that's like a couple of seasons and it goes away. It's a permanent part of the MetaMask ecosystem. And when you tie that to everything we're doing with MetaMask Earn, MetaMask Card, which lets you use your crypto IRL with our partnership with MasterCard, I mean, we're going to keep going, guys. We just launched Bitcoin support. We announced that a couple of days ago. We launched Solana support. We got Tron support coming next month. We're shipping at 1,000 miles an hour and we're not stopping.
Somebody said we got Bitcoin on MetaMask before GTA 6.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. You guys are cooking, man. I can't believe, but of course I can believe that it's been a year and a half since you guys got acquired by MetaMask, since WaltGuard was acquired. Amazing, amazing. You guys have been cooking. I have nothing but faith in you and the team over there, and the results are showing, bro. So good stuff. What is your favorite and what is your least favorite part of working in crypto?
My favorite part is building with people that don't have a Web 2 mentality, meaning, we're all here to grow the space, right? I don't look at any other wallets or security tools or anything as competition. I think the more developers, the more people building UI and UX and making everything better, it's better for the entire ecosystem overall. It's so different from what we're used to in Web 2, where everything's patented and it's behind closed doors and it's, company secrets. This is why I love Web 3 so much. Something that I don't like about Web3, there's not enough hours in a day. I wish days would be 48 hours long so I could get more done. That's the only complaint that I have. Because as you know, gambler, a year in Web3 is like a decade in real life. We're moving way too fast, and it's just going to get faster. And I can guarantee you, MetaMask is going to be on top of all of it.
Bro, imagine being around Michael and not just getting hyped up, bro. Like, wow, like you have such a way with not even just words, bro, but your energy. I know you believe every single word that you're saying, and that makes me believe it. That makes, I'm sure, other people believe it. What final advice do you have for all the legends listening in here, regarding either getting hired in Web3 or again advancing your career in Web3?
Do not rush. Understand what your goal is. Create a game plan and execute it. If you care. If you care. Because a lot of people out here just talk and talk and talk. You see them in 6 months. You see them in a year from now. You see them at the next conference. They're just talking and talking. They're never really executing on what they're talking about. Make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Follow the right accounts. Or just stay in this bubble of people that are degenerate casino gambling, trying to show you a bunch of garbage and use you as exit liquidity. Pick a side, guys, because there's two ways to onboard people. One of them is under the pretense that they're going to 1000x, which, by the way, you're setting up a lot of people for failure because 99% of people do not 1000x. They get completely fucking wrecked. The other way to onboard, and this is how I take it, is showing people the value of why crypto and blockchain exists. Showing them real alpha like stable coins, yield, lending protocols. These are things that a lot of people on the timeline don't even know is happening. A lot of people, your favorite influencers, your favorite KOLs probably don't even own any Bitcoin. Let them know MetaMask now supports Bitcoin. They can on-ramp it directly in their MetaMask. Like, there's real people in the space, and it's not hard to tell who's actually building things, who's working with these corporations and ways to scale in the background, and who's just literally trying to extract money out of everybody's pockets. And for some reason, they get the most engagement. I don't get it. Maybe I'll never get it, but it won't change the way that I present myself in the space. I want to help people. I'll never ask you for a dollar, a penny, nothing. If you need help, my DMs are open, whether it's Web 2, Web 3, cybersecurity, scaling your business, starting Adapt, whatever the case is, working with MetaMask, working with Consensys. Tap in. I'm here 24/7. Let's fucking go.
And as somebody who's had the pleasure of having a front row seat of seeing this guy cook for years, I can confirm that he is here. And if any of you in here for some reason have not been connected to Michael yet, it is absolutely my pleasure to have given you one of your first impressions with dude. So tap in, give them a follow, tap in with MetaMask, support what they're doing over there, because the devs are absolutely deving. Michael, I got one more question for you. How can we better support you, better support your team over at MetaMask?
Yeah, shoot me a follow. Shoot the MetaMask account to follow if you haven't already. We're shipping a million things every single month. Check out the value that we're bringing to the table. Check out how our security infrastructure, our privacy preserving nature of our wallet is drastically different than anybody else. I'll give you guys a quick metric. On a monthly basis, there's tens of millions of dollars lost to MEV bots and front run attacks on the Ethereum network overall. MetaMask users attribute to $0 of those MEV bots and front run attacks. We have built the security infrastructure to make sure you are confident knowing and transacting in MetaMask that you are safe, that you understand exactly what's going in and out of your wallet. We've put endless years into building this security stack, and it is untouchable. So the way you can support us is simply by using the product, seeing why it's better, and making sure that you onboard people to the most privacy preserving, secure wallet that exists out there.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You're here first, Mr. Michael K. As always, my man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for the game. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all the work you do, not just at MetaMask, not just at WalletGuard, but for the crypto space as a whole. I'm wishing you the most blessed rest of your 2025, bro. And yeah, thank you again.
Appreciate you greatly, Gambler. Looking forward to coming on another episode in the future, giving some more updates. And yeah, hope that people listening to this recording got some alpha out of it, whether it was security tips, whether it was how to grow yourself, grow your business, whatever it is. Really appreciate you. And make sure you don't raw dog the blockchain. Use
Don't raw
MetaMask.
dog the blockchain. If you got value today, I will promise you will get 100x the value if you follow the dude Michael, follow MetaMask, check them out. They are the real deal. And to everybody listening, Walt, Brian, Crypto, Cam, T, Dylan, Mike, Twans, we appreciate you. We're rooting for you. And we will see you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Have a blessed rest of your 2025. Let's crush it.